Well, I remember growing up in my family, we never went to church, we never talked about God, and I remember hearing of him, and I knew the name Jesus, but never knew who he was or much about him, and never thought twice about it. It was St. Patrick's Day of '08 last year, and I thought, well, Easter's coming up, and I'd been going to a few different churches over the past couple of years, but never anything that I wanted to get up and go back to. And I remember getting up that morning and going to church, and I'll never forget it. It was Easter Sunday of '08, and there was a bridge set up across the stage, and it was all about bridges and building bridges. I remember it really struck me that day, sitting in the back row, hiding back there in the dark. Pastor Jay said, "I don't know where you are, any of you, in your walk with Christ today, but I invite you to walk with him today." And I took the first step across that bridge. Right at that moment, I said, okay. And 2 weeks later, I was down in the mountains of Tennessee, riding a motorcycle, and I used to run from God, and I could run 170 miles an hour. I would just put that helmet on and hide from the world. Nobody knew who it was inside of there, and just go. I remember being on the motorcycle that morning. It was a Friday morning, 2 weeks after Easter. We were on a detour because the only road that we could take to get through this little mountain pass was blocked by an overturned semi. They weren't expecting it to clear for hours, so we found a detour and we went around, and I stopped and told my brother, I said, something bad's gonna happen. I had that feeling, something bad is gonna happen. And about 45 minutes later, I slipped on some leaves in a turn at somewhere about 80 miles an hour. And on a motorcycle, that's a pretty devastating speed. If you could have seen the ditch that I landed in, you will believe there is a God. I landed no wider than this chair in a little ditch between a concrete barrier and a tree that had fallen over with a bunch of jagged tree stumps, and if I would have hit that, that would have been it. And somehow I landed dead in the middle in a 3-foot deep pile of leaves. I broke my back, broke 5 bones in my back, and I could stand up and walk the next day. I just thought, okay, that must have been God's way of telling me, I'm gonna put you in a position where you are gonna lay here and talk to me, or you're gonna lay here and stare at me awkwardly. That accident was the single worst, but single greatest moment of my life. I would do it all over in 1 second if somebody would have told me the good that would have came out of it. I've come to Metro, and I've met so many people. I feel like every person that I come across at Metro is just one more plank helping me build that bridge across the way, and it's every single new person is there for me every step of the way. And when I'm there, some days I just feel like my chest is going to explode. I am so happy here. My name's Tina Perry, and I'm Metro.